Back with another video, and I really want this one to kind of, well, not kind of, but help people, and I want this, I guess, to be my most informative video so far. So as you can tell from the title, going to a drag strip for the first time can be pretty confusing and I guess somewhat intimidating for some people. So I want to go over some tips on what to be prepared for when you go there, and just go over a bunch of things to help you pass the tech inspection and stuff like that. So I have a list right here that I wrote, and I did a list because I wanted to include everything that I possibly can. I know I'm probably missing a few things, but I'll try to remember those. So got about a couple pages here. So I guess we'll start off with number one. So, if you plan on going to a drag strip and you've ever been there before, research what drag strip you're going to be going to. Just try getting any general information you can. Even try getting some pictures just so you have like a layout of the track and you kind of have an idea where you have to enter from, where the staging lanes are, the return road from the end of the track back to the staging lanes. Just try getting pictures and just get a mental image of kind of where to start off when you get there. So the next thing is check the schedule. I have yet to see a track that is just open on a daily basis. It's always a certain date where things fall on. Certain classes fall on this date. It depends on what you really want to do. So, check the schedule. If you just want to do a test and tune or whatever, make sure what day it's going to be on, make sure you're able to go there and do that, make sure there's no, NHRA races going on that day, any special events that's going to stop you from being able to do that. And also just to make sure you don't end up in a class that you really don't want to be. Like if you do end up going there for a test and tune and you accidentally get mixed up into a class of racing and now some guy's pissed off at you because you owe him money for something that you thought you weren't even doing. It's probably very rare that could happen, but it still could. Alright, so the next one is prices. Research the prices. Every track is going to have some sort of fee, and the track I go to for test and tunes is like $20. So that really isn't bad at all, but I mean, if there's certain times that it is, sometimes, it starts early in the morning, sometimes it don't start till like 6 p.m. at night, and to get your most money out of it, I would go to the one that starts early, even if you gotta drag yourself out of bed, to pay $20 to be able to get enough runs in that you want to, instead of paying $20 to go there later on at night. Because at mine, when it starts at 6 p.m., it ends at 9. And there's a lot of cars. You just paid $20 to maybe get 1 or 2 runs in. And to me, 3 minimum would be the sweet spot. So just double check that. And like I said, classes. There could be bracket racing, points racing, a whole bunch of other stuff. Make sure you're very clear on what class you want to be in. I'm sure there's going to be somebody there when you go there to check in that's going to ask you, what are you here for? They'll kind of should steer you in the right direction, but if not, just kind of poke around and find it out, figure it out. Alright, so that's number one. So now let's get to number two. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Everybody has to start somewhere, me included. The first time I went to my track, I looked like Paul Walker in the first Fast and Furious movie, kind of just standing next to my car, not having a single clue. And luckily, there's a guy there that had a STI, and he was pretty cool. I just went up to him and started talking to him, asking questions, and he pretty much told me everything I needed to know and where to go. So if you do end up going, to this and you're not really sure what to do, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, don't hesitate at all. Like I said, everybody has to start somewhere. You'll get it eventually. So number 3, this topic is going to have the most subjects in it. There's so many things that tech inspection can include, so you really need to make sure you have everything you need, everything that is required, everything that'll help you pass that. Because if you drove 2-3 hours to go to a drag strip and to pay money to get there and you can't pass that tech inspection, I would be pretty pissed off. So let's go over that. So a couple things they're going to check is tires. Make sure you don't have any bald tires, you don't got any wires showing, you don't have any warped tires or anything like that. Any safety issues with your tires. And suspension and steering, they are going to check for worn out suspension parts. They're going to check for loose steering. So make sure you have everything replaced or in spec for that. So this one's kind of interesting. Loose objects. And that refers to anything in your car that's loose, whether you have a battery that's not tied down properly, you got clothes, you got tools, you just got like individual personal items in your car that are going to be loose and could potentially come flying out or impact, even injure you in an accident. You cannot have. You have to thoroughly empty your car to make sure that you and everything else that's bolted down in your car, that's the only thing in your car. There's nothing loose that can go flying around. Nothing. So that they're really strict with that one. So the next one is they are going to double check to make sure you have a valid license, and if you need a NHRA license, they are going to double check for that. But mostly you just need that for like actual NHRA races, or if your car goes fast enough. I think it's like if you're in the 7-8 second range, you are going to need an NHRA license for that. So just keep that in mind. So next one, leaking fluids. Obviously that's a given. Double check your fluids before you go to the race. Make sure nothing's leaking. This one is also really important too, because if you leave any fluid on the track, if it's bad enough, they will close down that track for the rest of the day, and now you have just ruined it for everybody else, and that's not a really good way to make friends. So, don't have an oil pan gasket that's ready to blow out. Don't have a tranny pan gasket that's ready to blow out. Don't be leaking power steering fluid that's going to spew all over the track. Just kind of keep it mindful and keep it respectful for other people and also yourself. You don't want to go all that way just to, like I said, not be able to do anything because your car will not pass the tech inspection. So the next, helmet. Most tracks, if you run a 14-second quarter mile or faster, you are going to need a helmet. It's obviously has to be DOT approved helmet, and if you don't have one, go out and get one. Even if your car does not do 14-second passes, still just bring it anyway, just in case. You never know what could happen, and it really is, safer if you get into an accident. You're not going to have, you could stop glass from flying in your face. You could stop the airbag from smacking you in the face, which that one I kind of think would hurt more, because if it smacks the helmet, your helmet's going to get stuck between the airbag and the seat, and it might kind of jar your neck funny, but who knows. So helmet, roll cage. I'm going to get into more specifics on the roll cage in a little bit. I'll go over that. And also the racing harness and a parachute if you need it. So the next one, brake lights. They are going to check to see, I believe, if at least even one brake light is working. I know it's on a track, but it's a safety concern. Especially if you're going very fast, you need to be sure that you're seeing that if there's a car in front of you or anywhere around you that is stopping. Especially for the return, the turn road back to the staging lane and the staging lane itself. And really just to avoid little fender benders or something stupid like that. And battery tie down. So here's an interesting one too. If you have a relocated battery, it cannot be inside the driver's compartment. And if it is, in the trunk or even in the front where it was, either the stock tie down or a metal strap tie down is only only thing that you can have. You can't use rubber tie downs. You can't use bungee cords. You can't use anything like that. It has to be a really strong metal tie down. Otherwise, you're not going to pass tech, and they're just going to tell you to leave. So keep that in mind. Drive shaft, I'll get into a little bit more of that. Throttle return spring. So if you have, a carbureted, even a throttle body, if you have anything that's rigged and they see that it's not going to be safe, ejectocito, they're just going to tell you to leave. It sucks that they're really this strict, but also they're just trying to make it as safe as possible, and that's what everybody is there for. Otherwise, they'd just be on the street racing. No, they want to race, but they want it to be as safe as possible. Alright, so fuel line. No more than 12 inches of rubber line in the entire vehicle. So you can't have a rubber line going from the fuel pump all the way up to the fuel rail or anywhere in between. If it's more than 12 inches of individual rubber line, you are not going to pass tech inspection. And I understand that, because if somebody is running a really high pressure setup, there's potential to blow out. And like I was said earlier, once there's fluids on the track, if it's bad enough, they're just going to shut the whole thing down. They have to clean it up. And it's going to be unfortunate, but this all could have been avoided. So next one is neutral safety switch. You need that or a reverse lockout that prevents your vehicle from being started while in gear. So if you do not have that, at least get it, or if yours don't work, fix it before you go to the track. Save yourself the time and the money from going there and then being told that you can't race because of that one little stupid thing. So here is the roll bar stuff. So if you're on a $13.99 or quicker in a convertible or open roof car, you need a minimum of a 5-point bar, the roll bar. And a $10.99 or quicker, a minimum of 8-point bar. So keep that in mind. Make sure you got all that situated. And also, they are going to be checking the quality of that bar also. And now hard tops. So if you run $11.99 or quicker, a 5-point roll bar and a full cage is required. Alright, so it's not just the roll bar, you need a full cage. So for $9.99 or quicker for hardtops, you need a 8-point roll bar and a full cage. And I believe you need a 5-point harness and possibly even a parachute. Yeah, especially if you're running under 9-second passes. I think you definitely need a parachute, but then you would also need the NHRA license. Another thing they're going to check, which, it's kind of a common sense thing, missing lug nuts. If you are missing, like 3 lug nuts on a wheel and you only got like 2 or 3 left, don't bother bringing it there. They're just going to tell you to leave. It's going to be really stupid and pointless to just go to something like that and think that they're going to overlook it. Just, make sure you have them all. And this is kind of a thing to do before you even get to the track. Torque them all down. Make sure they're all tight. That's just one safety thing that you can do, which I don't think tech will even check. But they might, but just do that for yourself as a safety precaution. Seatbelts. If you do not have a harness or anything, they are going to be checking if your seatbelts work. So again, if you have some sort of issue with that, just fix it, check. Can't hurt to look. And here's one that's going to pertain to most people because they have them wheel spacers. There's not a general rule for those, but I believe I was looking online and it said 3/4 inch or more, they might have an issue with it. So I guess one thing you could do is call the track you're going to be going to yourself and just ask and verify before you go that far. I mean, I guess if you have the tools to take them off and then pop them back on, sure, whatever. You can probably do that in between races or whatever. But if they won't let you in there before taking them off, you also might ask them, "Can I hurry up and go out, to another spot, take them off, come back?" They might tell you that's okay. They might not. Like I said, I just don't know. So just make sure you ask questions like that when you go there. Alright, obviously, like I said before, no battery in driver's compartment, obviously for good reasons. Nitrous. So the bottle must be and engraved on the side with 1,800 pound DOT rating. So whatever that means, if you do not have a DOT rated bottle, that is for that. 1,800 pound, I guess PSI, I guess it would be. Get one. And also, that must be securely bolted in the location it's at. You can't use rubber tie downs. You can't use, like I said, bungee cords, anything. It has to be completely 100% bolted in with a metal tie down so it cannot go anywhere. And also, if it is inside of the driver's compartment, that is one spot where it actually can be. It has to be vented to the outside somehow. So just kind of figure out what your setup with that would be. And so here's another one, sharp metal. There's not really a like I said, set rule for that, but if it is bad enough to the point where they think it could be an issue, that's also gonna kind of be a ticket for you to be out, I would guess. Don't go there with like half your truck bed missing or rotted out, or you got like pieces of metal hanging off and stuff. It looks like Edward Scissorhands just ran up and down just don't do it. Make it a little bit better, make it neat, make it look like, if you got some body rot, that's cool, but not like you got like pieces flying off and stuff. So just keep that in mind. Next one, and this, I don't know if this is for track specific either, but I'm trying to keep these so just that even if it isn't track specific, just keep that in mind and have it just so you don't have to run into any problems. And it's simple, window chalk. The track I go to, you are required to write your quarter-mile times on any of your windows. I usually do the the driver's side rear, just so that's like the easiest spot to see it. But like again, I said, some tracks might not require that. I think mine does it just so they kind of like give you an idea of if you're in a certain class, what you're running, and they'll try matching you up with the same class and stuff like that. So that's why I really think they do that. Next one, no reverse. And what that means is, for one, you cannot get a group of people to like push your car backwards for whatever reason. You can't do that. You can't have them push you back from the end of the track, down the return road all the way to the staging lane. You can't have them do that. So just keep that in mind. And the next one is the return road. So most tracks only have one, and it seems to be on the left-hand side. And that speed is going to be limited to 5 miles per hour. And I know some people, maybe even myself, sometimes get really excited after a run. They want to hurry up and get down to that booth to get their time slip. And just keep in mind, 5 miles per hour. Anything over that, you're doing 20-30 miles per hour down that road, you're most likely going to get booted and probably never let back into that track again. So they're really strict on safety. So the next one I feel is going to be the second most important. And so you just got done finishing your run, whatever. There's going to be a amount of space that's left at the track for you to start slowing down safely. Don't just lock up your brakes. Don't try skidding. Don't do anything like that. There's enough track left for you to slowly and safely slow down and stop. But here is the other part to that. Like I said, at most tracks, the return road is off of these turnoffs at the end of the track. So you got to go left. Well, the car in the left lane is the first one that has to exit off of that track, and then the right one follows, which would make sense. If you have the right lane trying to exit first and the left car is still trying to slow down, you're going to meet up, you're going to cause an accident, you're going to do a bunch of that. So if you go to a drag strip and you are in the left lane and you know for a fact that the turnoff road is on the left hand side, when you get down the run, pay attention. You know, kind of look out for what the guy in the right lane is still doing, and keep an eye out for these turnoffs, and kind of make your way safely, turn off, and then hopefully the driver in the right lane is paying attention also. They'll turn off after you safely, and everything, you know, accidents and all that can be avoided. But vice versa, if you do go to a track and from whatever reason the turnoff road is on the right hand side, just do the opposite. If you're in the right side lane, you would turn off first. If not, if you're in the left lane, wait for the right lane to turn off and then make your way over there safely. So that's a big one. Also, don't ask me how I know this, but don't back up on a track or turn around at the end. Yeah, I messed up. This is my first time there. I didn't know, but there was 2 turnoffs at my track. I missed the first one, and I didn't really see the second one. I don't know where it would have been, and you know, I didn't really panic, but like I backed up and I hurried up and got off the turnoff, and luckily the guy that came up to me was really cool about it. You know, he's just like, do not ever back up or turn around at the end of a track. There's a turnoff. There's a second one that was farther up ahead. So just keep that in mind also. And that brings us down to the last one, and that is simple. Don't be cocky. You know, enjoy your time there. If you have a problem with somebody at the track, just let it go. You know, settle it on the drag strip, whatever. Don't ruin it for everybody else, because something that small and that stupid will shut the track down and unfortunately ruin it for everyone else. And you know, like I said, if somebody drove 2-3 hours and paid to be there, and now because somebody, you know, wanted to act like little kids, they have to leave, I would be pretty upset. So you know, everyone's there to just have fun, you know, enjoy it. I know people can be really competitive. I'm like that also. I don't like losing, and but, you know, just remember, there's kids there that go there to enjoy it and just have fun. They want to see some good racing, so just keep that in mind. So, I think that's pretty much, like I said, I missed some. I'm trying to remember some, like, if you run faster than 135 miles per hour with an automatic transmission, you have to have an approved safety blanket on your transmission. Same thing with manual. If you have aftermarket axles, there's some stuff on that, but just, you know, go and research. I tried getting as much as the really important stuff as I can. So once again, if you guys like this video, please like it, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.